Hold on a second, everybody. My field associate here told me something, so let's go try. Maybe I fucked up. Maybe it was me, not him. It was me, not him.
Wash our hands often to our elbows.
You hear it?
These are the things we know. We know. If people want to wear a mask, that is okay. These are the things we know that prevents you from speaking moistly. Speaking moistly. Keep 2 meters apart. Speaking moistly. Speaking moistly. Keep 2 meters apart. Speaking moistly. I'm not a medical expert. These are the things we know. Keep 2 meters apart. What I have heard from medical experts, these are the things we know that prevent you from speaking moistly. Speaking moistly. Keep 2 meters apart. 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 Speaking moistly. Oh, what a terrible image.
Oh, that was great. So how you doing, buddy?
Oh, me? I'm doing pretty good. Yourself? I was looking for the other people since you said everybody.
Oh, nice. Well, Smudge. Kicking?
Kicking?
There's been an update.
Oh.
There is, I don't know how he gets in the stand. There's 2 beautiful ladies down there. I got to run my hands through their hair.
You sound like a fucking pervert.
I was running my hands up and down the buds, their butts.
Leave in the room.
And then, yeah, you know. So anyways, everybody, thank you. Welcome to the Fuck You Hour.
Oh no.
OG World Order, here to stay.
Okay, what are we doing tonight, buddy?
I don't know. How did you like that mask song? I think you're the one that pulled that one up, right? He's keeping things moist, all right.
He's moist.
My vagina was moist after hearing that song.
Yeah.
So okay, well I guess we'll throw up into a next video, I guess, right?
Yeah, might as well.
We'll keep it going. We want to keep
Keep
it.
it going.
Here, hold on a second. We'll-
He's such a nice guy. Oh. The sounds of music.
Okay, let's get back on this. Let's get moist.
Moist. I'm getting dry.
Oh,
Oh, you can even hear that coming right out of there.
The Liberals are allowing ISIS terrorists to return to Canada.
You
We
hear
now
that?
know with certainty that there are confessed ISIS killers walking our streets freely today.
This individual described how he executed individuals by shooting them in the back of the head. Media are reporting this individual is in Toronto right now as we speak. If the media knows where he is, he's talking to the New York Post. Why isn't this government doing something about this?
Abu Hussein, a Canadian ISIS terrorist, returned to Canada after executing and torturing civilians in Syria. He openly bragged about the bloody details of his experiences as an ISIS hitman. Hussefa represents the worst of the worst. He committed unspeakable war crimes.
I think he's 30 something, in his 30s. He was wearing an orange jumpsuit. He was blindfolded. It was like a black leather rubbery type blindfold. We tied his hands with this wire thing. I stabbed him. We put him up on a cross.
This brutal terrorist needs to be thrown behind bars now. Instead of making Abu Hussefa and his fellow ISIS killers responsible for their crimes, the Liberals put them in reintegration programming, where they take taxpayer-funded poetry and podcasting classes. Justin Trudeau has a long history of being soft on terror. This is the same Justin Trudeau that secretly cut a check for $10.5 million to convicted terrorist Omar Khadr, who's killed and maimed American soldiers. And this is the same Justin Trudeau that pulled our fighter jets out of the war against ISIS.
340 North Street, 319, Toyota.
Justin Trudeau is failing to take a major role in supporting the global war against terror. Andrew Scheer, as Prime Minister, will send the message that terrorists in this country will be punished to the full extent of the law. We need your help to stand up to Justin Trudeau, put the safety of our citizens first. Please join us in supporting Canada's Conservatives in our fight to protect Canadians and put ISIS terrorists behind bars.
Yeah. Behind bars and out on the street.
so basically what we're saying here, hey Roadhog, how's it going, brother? So basically what we're saying here is we don't want ISIS. Why can't we protect the ISIS fighters? I thought we were supposed to protect all people.
I thought we were supposed to be protecting everybody,
Yeah.
except for them. Are we in a fucking war with them?
Oh. It's interesting. Usually in a war, you don't aid and abet your enemy. So.
Aid in the what?
Aid and abet. Aid and abetting. Whatever it is. I made a bed for the fucking guy. You know what I'm saying? There is somebody sleeping in the background there. Just leave him alone. Don't wake him up, please. He is scheduled for today sometime to come on. He is sleeping right now, so just leave him in the back, sleeping in his chair. He's had a rough day. See the guy in the back?
Oh,
Guy with the beard.
well, whatever.
He said he was coming on today at some point. So,
Yeah. Yeah.
say he was going to do a public apology.
To the world.
Where-
Okay.
Wearing a diaper. So, anyways, thank you.
Yeah, that's pretty good.
So, but really, how long has this been going on? I think that video is from 2018.
Yep.
So really, how long and why is it going under the radar that we're not catching this?
Because our fake news won't talk about, they won't get paid. On that subject, our fake news is that's right, a bunch of fucking crickets.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, even with that finance minister still like the
Who?
what's her face there?
I don't know them. They're all a bunch of crooks.
Anyways, that weed scandal. What do you think about that?
Crooks.
Oh, you don't think you don't think Justin Trudeau should have gotten money? No,
Hey, he's just like his dad, right?
I think his mom earned that money.
Oh, big time. Probably babysitting.
I think she got on her knees.
Doing a good job.
My mom worked long and hard for that money on her knees. Oh shit. Okay, well let's go to the next video. She said that one.
But that's me. Don't kill the messenger.
Oh.
And that is being developed in a collaboration between the Canadian government and the Chinese company CanSino Biologics is making a key jump. It's skipping a final phase of testing in China, skipping phase 3, and is now approved for use by a research unit in the Chinese military for a period of 1 year. Now, we've been tracking this story for a while now, following work on the CanSino vaccine in this country. It's actually based on a cell line from the National Research Council. Lots of federal government investment in this. Dalhousie is supervising what are approvals for human trials in Canada, ultimately. But that's our starting point for this morning's conversation. Dr. Isaac Bogosh is back with me, as he so often is, infectious disease specialist at Toronto General Hospital. Good morning.
Good morning to you.
Lovely to see you. And why don't we start with that? This approval, as I said, for a year, use within the Chinese military of this vaccine, even though it's jumped right over the phase which looks at the efficacy and the safety of a vaccine candidate. What's the significance of this?
On the one hand, I think this is really the first, semi-wide scale implementation of a vaccine for COVID-19 in real world settings. On the other hand, as you point out, they're just skipping the phase 3 clinical trials, jumping right into giving this to the military in China. So I'm not entirely sure how I feel about this. I think in an ideal world, this would actually have gone through the phase 3 clinical trials. We'd have some data to determine if it truly works at individuals and in populations, and we'd have a lot more data on the safety of this with a much larger cohort of individuals. But I know, here we go. Let's see what happens.
Here we go. And then coming back to this, because as I said, we've been talking about this, the Canadian involvement in this with the investment and the supervising with Dalhousie and the vaccine with the origins, I guess, to an NRC cell line here. I mean, that would, correct me if I'm wrong, but they're never going to jump to a phase, just jump right over phase 3 in Canada. But it is approved for human trials here, which Dalhousie would supervise. So what would be the implications of this then for us?
It's hard to know. I mean, I really, really hope they're collecting detailed data in the use in the Chinese military. We don't have a lot of the details as to what exactly they're doing. We don't know if this is a voluntary thing that they're doing, or if everyone in the military or certain people in the military are getting this one way or another. It's just not clear what the details are. Certainly, we wouldn't do something like that here. We wouldn't be allowed to do something like that here. We'd have to conduct phase 3 clinical trials before we start to provide a vaccine to the general public. And in all fairness, I'd love to see the data, the efficacy data from a large number of people, either in the late phase 2 clinical trials or from phase 3 trials before starting to give this out on a wide scale. So it's different, certainly a different approach. And I'm trying to think, I'm sure it's happened before, but I can't think just off the top of my head of when something jumped from a phase 2 phase 2 data, skipping phase 3 and just entering implementation. So I got to think about that a little bit more, but I'm curious to see what happens.
For
Well, it should have
Canada,
been more
authorized to
prepared
conduct
when I
phase
had
1
it.
trials here, and then if it goes well, if it's successful, then on into phases 2 and 3. But it'll be interesting today, now that we're hearing about this story from China, whether there's federal medical officer response, maybe even from Dalhousie as well. We'll try to bring that forward today here on CBC News Network. Something else that we're just hearing about today, Dr. Bogosh, is at 9 o'clock, so just over an hour's time. We're going to get a number of municipalities holding news conferences to make some announcement on mask use. It sounds like it's going to be mandatory masks for public spaces and inside stores to have a little bit more of a unified, coordinated approach. Right now, it's dependent on where you live. It's very patchwork. Do you think the province isn't going as far as making the whole province under the same rules? What effect do you think this could have?
Well, certainly I'm glad that the province isn't going to mandate masking all across the province at this point in time. I think it's very clear that we have to timestamp all of our conversation. And just like the province was able to reopen in a regional manner, and much like other provinces, Alberta and Quebec, were able to reopen in a regional manner, I think masking policy, while I appreciate that people have been upset with some of the messaging and there's some confusion, I think masking policy would also benefit from a regional approach for several reasons. And if they're going to mandate masking, I think it wouldn't be ideal to do this in areas that have, 0 to very few infections at this point in time. And, it sounds like the pendulum is swinging in the direction where they are likely going to mandate this. And if they do, again, I really hope it's regional rather than a sweeping mandate across the province, or some people are even calling for it across the country. It just doesn't really make sense to me to do that. But if it's going to be regional, if they're going to mandate it, regional is going to be the way to go.
More responsive on the ground. Ottawa looks like it's following suit by the end of this week. Windsor, Kingston already. And again, the Greater Toronto Area mayors look to be announcing something later on this morning. We are getting from a scientific journal, Dr. Bogosh, publishing this morning some research from Chinese scientists who have identified a new strain of influenza. And it's one which they say has the potential to become a pandemic. It's carried by pigs. It can infect humans. So this is not coronavirus. This is influenza. Don't be confused. We're already in the midst of one pandemic and we're looking at the possibility of another. But is this, am I right in this? Scientists have been watching for a new bad strain of influenza for some time.
Can I pause it
Absolutely.
right here for a second?
And certainly this is a big area of research and surveillance.
They failed. I think this is what you said earlier. Now they got to push something else. So, everybody, let's get ready to put COVID-19 on the back burner. And let's get ready for this new N1H1 virus.
Looking for new strains of influenza that could break out and cause another pandemic. Of course, the last time we had that was in 2008, 2009 with H1N1. This is a different version, a little tweak in the H1N1. It's called the G4 H1N1. And based on what we know, this has been around since about 2011. They studied this from 2011 to 2018. It's been on pig farms. Certainly has infected some humans. The questions we have now, or the questions that the scientists studying it have, are, to what degree can this be transmitted efficiently from human to human? And what is the severity of this infection in humans? And it certainly has the hallmarks of having something that has a pandemic potential, just because no one would really be immune to it. The vaccine that we have currently wouldn't cover it. But I should point out that the vaccine that we have is modified to cover different strains of influenza, and that it could easily be modified to cover this strain and mass produced. So there's certainly, it wouldn't be like we'd be starting from scratch. The other thing too is this is just a reminder that there's a lot of infections, some that we know of, probably more that we don't know of, that have pandemic potential. We are always at risk for this, and it's important to have early detection systems in place such that we can find these and respond to these issues early on, so that we avoid the setting that we're in right now.
That's why the WHO says it's a reminder that we can't let down our guard. But it is
Oh,
discouraging.
shut up, lady. Anyways, what he just said there, in the back burner, in the back room here, the train's coming to get us.
Huh?
The train's coming to get us.
The train's coming.
What he's saying was the religion of peace, which is get rid of the pigs.
Get
So,
rid of the
and now,
pigs.
yeah. And so now what we got to do? We got to go. It's not worth listening to her anymore. I'm sorry.
So more diseases, more masks.
Yeah. So really, I think we got one more, and I think it's been 20 minutes. We'll cut it to a 30-minute show.
And then we'll come back and do something live.
Yeah, we'll do a live. Have people on if you want to come on. This
Anyone
is just,
shows up.
yeah. We'll just we're just playing some news here. I'm just getting some stuff off my chest.
So we got ISIS fighters welcomed open arms with a job opportunity, where Canadians are suffering and get no retraining.
And is that stuff happening here too with the disband the police?
Well, I'm pretty sure they'll push that bullshit up here too.
I know there was some kind of defunding.
Yeah, they'll push that bullshit up here. Like our police are just going out there, just looking around, going, kill them all, kill everybody, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them. Same with in the States. I guess they're just walking around going, shoot everybody, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them, shoot them.
Well, and I don't want to mention we won't mention any names on this podcast here, but I've come to like to hear that some of these auditors have called the police on themselves. Not going to name any names. We all know who you are. So, like, really, you shouldn't even be an auditor at that point because you're staging a reaction, a negative reaction at that point, which, as an auditor, I'm trying to prove a positive reaction. And some of these people really have put a damper on that because, well, I'm not getting any action, so I got to call the police on myself. So, you fags know who you are. Anyways, let's get down to the last title, I guess.
Yes or no question, Mr. Chair. Prime Minister, you twice were found guilty of breaking the Ethics Act. After those two convictions, did you decide to read the Act?
You got 14 seconds, Prime Minister.
Yes, I have read the Act a number of times.
Are you aware of Section 21?
Yes, since I've read the Act, I'm aware of Section 21.
What does it say?
I can pull it up for you, but if you have it in front of you, you can remind me.
Well, it says a public office holder of which you are one shall recuse himself or herself from any discussion, decision, debate, or vote in any matter in which, in respect of which he or she would be in a conflict of interest. Now, what you've admitted today is not just that you were in a conflict of interest, but that you consciously recognized in your May cabinet meeting that such a conflict might exist. That it didn't just slide by your desk, that you were consciously aware that there was an inappropriate link to your family that would put you in a conflict. Why did you, at that moment, not call the ethics commissioner and recuse yourself?
That is simply not true, Mr. Poilievre. The issue of advancing issues for one's own. And by the way, the ethics commissioner is looking into this right now, and I fully trust his judgment on determining it. But at the same time, my concern around recusing myself was a question around perceptions, because I knew full well that this Canada Summer Students Grant Program was not going to directly benefit my mother or my brother.
Your 16 seconds are up. Your 16 seconds are up. I'm going to ask you again, because nobody believes you when you say you don't know how much money your family has got from the We Group. So you've had a month to look into that. You knew you were going to testify here. Again, how much money total have your brother, mother, and spouse received from this organization? How much?
That information has been publicly shared, but I will highlight.
Well, then tell me what it is.
My mother
How much?
has
just the dollar figure.
Throughout her life.
The dollar figure, Prime Minister.
Various ways, and is
how much
of the work that she's done, and I'm proud of her.
How
as well.
much? I'm looking for a dollar figure.
We can get that number for you if you like. It's been out in the media.
It's been in the media, but you don't know it?
I don't have it in front of me. And quite
you don't
frankly,
know how much your family has received from this organization, which you tried to give $500 million, really?
Can I answer, Mr. Polyev?
I'm waiting. You haven't done an answer so far. Let's make this the first one.
My mother has worked as an advocate.
The dollar figure, Prime Minister.
Speaker for
how much?
Many good organizations across the country.
Mr. Prime Minister, you are being asked a direct question at a parliamentary committee.
Support her because she does her own work, and I'm proud
Point of order.
of the work
Point
that she
of
does.
order.
I do not feel that it is
Answer
my
the question.
responsibility to peer into the work my mother is doing, because I have
Point of order to
in the work
suspend.
that she's doing.
Point of order.
Point of order
to suspend.
The chairperson's power has gone out and is no longer part of this meeting. May I propose that we?
It's okay. We can keep
for
Prime Minister and I can continue talking.
No.
I suspected that might be a problem. It's very convenient timing for the lights to go out. Look, I got a message to the effect that his power has gone out. I have no reason to distrust him.
I hope you don't pull the fire alarm now.
Yeah, well, look, there's no intent in my own private home here in the middle of a pandemic. I don't have a fire alarm. I propose
the general process is that the vice chair assumes the chairing of the meeting. So we'll continue.
And that would be me. So we'll continue the meeting. And I now give the floor to the member for Carleton. Mr. Prime Minister, you have, I'm going to ask you one last time, how much did your family get from this organization? How much?
Have you read the Conflict of Interest Act, Mr.
Yes,
Polyev?
I have.
How does it define family?
I'm asking you.
How does it define
family?
you
how much your family got.
The Conflict of Interest Act defines family as spouse and direct dependents.
Point of order. So you're not going to answer that question.
Point of order.
So you're not going to answer the question then. So you're not going to answer the question about how much your family received. Okay, you're right.
Hold it, gentlemen. If you.
For
Mr.
working with we, and it was cleared
Mr.
by
Prime
the
Minister?
Ethics Commissioner ahead of time.
Okay.
Mr. Polyev, can I welcome back Wayne Easter? Can I welcome back Wayne Easter, a man we've deeply missed? Come on, Wayne, where have you been?
Look,
I had
you know,
things under control for you while you were gone.
I imagine that, Pierre, it wouldn't be the first time you tried to put my lights out, and that's exactly what happened, Pierre. We got a thunderstorm here. Anyway, where will you're well into your 5 minutes, but go with one last question.
Mr. Trudeau, I'm going to conclude by asking you. You claim that you have no knowledge of the amount that has been paid in expenses to your spouse. You correctly pointed out that the Act defines family as including a spouse. Therefore, you know you're under investigation regarding the Act. I'm going to ask you again, how much in total, and I'm looking for a dollar figure here, sir, how much did your spouse receive in reimbursed expenses or other benefits from this organization? How much?
Your original question, Mr. Polyev, was how much was my immediate family?
I asked you a different question now. How much?
Mr. Polyev, the Prime Minister has the floor.
My wife has never been paid since I was Prime Minister.
Reimbursed for expenses.
Mr. Polyev, Mr. Polyev, could we please have order? We'll allow the Prime Minister to answer the question, and then we'll move on to Ms. Zerowitz. Sorry, Julie. Mr. Prime Minister, you have about 30 seconds here.
The Ethics Commissioner has fully cleared my wife to continue her advocacy and her work with We Charity and other organizations.
How much?
In the kind of work that she's been doing all her life.
Just the dollar
She's
figure.
doing it unpaid for We. She is not being paid by We for her advocacy or for her podcasts. They are simply reimbursing her for expenses.
Thank you, Mr.
What an honest person. I can't even say that without laughing.
Hey, Albany, how's it going? What's going on, Golden? Yeah, so I don't know. Can we pull this one up? The one that he blacked out all the papers, and the other guy's throwing them around. You remember that one? Yeah, he's on. He's live. If you guys have any questions for Evo, he'll answer
If you want
them.
to ask him anything, go ahead.
Anything in the live here, we'll answer them.
Yeah, fucking yes. You better ask a proper question.
Yeah, go fuck yourself.
Anyways, let me go see if I can find this quickly here before we cut this, and we'll go to a proper live where we can get everybody's opinions.
I wouldn't worry about that. They already stand it by listening to them.
I know, but you're telling me not to worry about something I want to see.
It's a fucking white piece of paper with a black box on it.
Yeah, but just the way he starts throwing shit around. Hold on. This one?
Amo, diapers. Will you hand some over? Oh, what do you like some, please?
Ain't gonna fucking do any fucking thing.
Go fuck yourself. Ask your little kids. We don't care about kids.
Okay, we got it.
I sound like a Wicked Witch of the West, don't I?
Hey, we got it, people. We got those. We gotta present the news as we present the news.
They're all my diapers.
Sophie Louie. Good evening and thanks for joining us. We begin with accusations of a cover-up in Ottawa, with new details emerging in the We Charity controversy just as Parliament is proroguing. Late yesterday, the government finally released thousands of pages of internal records linked to the now cancelled We agreement. But with Parliament now prorogued until late September, the committees investigating the proposed contract can't formally review them as they've been shut down. Conservatives say it's clear the Prime Minister has something to hide.
Oh,
This page. Blacked out. This page. Blacked out. This page. Blacked out. Why don't we ask what's in those pages at a parliamentary committee? Well, I'll tell you why. Justin Trudeau shut down those parliamentary committees. When did he do it? The same day these documents became public. What a coincidence.
Well, some of the documents are redacted, but there are still some key new revelations about how the We deal came together. Global's Abigail Beeman has more on what we've learned and the questions that are still unanswered. At the center of
You really get it for me. Hey, look what I did.
We don't need to hear what she has to say. Because she doesn't say anything else that's. I just wanted everybody to see how he was throwing the papers around. That was fucking hilarious.
Yeah, it's good papers.
And you know what? Everybody wants to save the fucking trees, okay? Everyone wants to. You know what we did in Canada? Oh, let's make our straws cardboard. You know, like No, but really, what do you think about that?
It doesn't matter what I think. They're going to do what they want to do.
Fuck the trees. That's what Albany says. Albany, if we go up, will you come on panel? We're going to restart the show. It's going to be a reset show. It's going to be called. It's going to be the fuck off to reset. And we're going to have Emo back anyways. He's a special guest, still a little drowsy. He was partying with us last night.
Albany, go to my room in Discord and look at P.
Yeah, you want to see a tree? Actually, I got a couple pictures I got to put on. Actually, you know what? Maybe we should set that live up as, and I'll put that picture as live.
Who? I don't know who that is.
What? Who's Teresa? What did Teresa do? What? What?
Huh? Qu'est-ce que c'est?
Qu'est-ce que c'est? Well, Golden Eyes, give us a second, and we're gonna restart this, and you can come up and panel, and we'll answer all your questions. We're actually gonna put out a phone-in number too. If it gets really busy, if people want to call in, we're gonna put it in a phoner. So.
Oh, we were talking about trees.
No, I never said anything about Teresa.
Yeah, come into Discord for a minute. We'll tell you what we're up to.
Yeah, we never said anything about Teresa. She's a solid person from what I thought. So, anyways, talk to you guys in a bit.
Yeah,
we're
we'll
gonna
be
reset
right back.
this show, and we're gonna have a panel. Might have Golden Eyes on.
Albany,
Oregon Skywatcher. She's been watching the skies for us, keeping it. Mother Teresa.
Ooh.
I heard she showed a little bit too much legs. Yeah, I know. Nobody said anything about Teresa.
No,
We're
not yet.
like that. Wait, what? Yeah, we're restarting the show.
Yeah, just wait.
Yeah, we'll be back in a second. This was just for news, We don't want people.
Yeah, we'll be right back, buddy.
Yeah. So, everybody, you want to send us off with something? Remember what you had planned to send us off?
Oh, you want me to do that too?
Yeah.
Sure, I'll do that too. I like that one.
I can't hear for shit. What do you mean you can't hear for shit? You can't hear me?
Hello? How's it going?
Thank you, everybody.
Like that?
Okay. So we'll see everybody in a few minutes. Peace, love, chicken grease.